All right, we're back.
Hello?
So, missed a couple plays. Took a loss on Pixie. 2,000 shares at 44 and sold it at 42.5 when VWAP cracked. Looking for that momentum shift. Volume was starting to come in, but then it really just died off. So I'll keep an alert there for later in case it comes back and volume starts coming in. AZRI was, fatty nailed this in the pre-market, kind of chopped around, made higher lows for the first half an hour. Then we were starting to finally fade. Volume keeps fading. So I'd probably just wait for VWAP open price reclaim and then that high of day break to test pre-market highs and then mid threes after that. DPSI is holding up pretty nicely. That volume is fading. Definitely seeing this little flag pattern here. Volume is fading, so it's going to have to pick a direction. We'll see how VWAP holds. We'll see how the 980s hold. And if volume can start coming back in, we'll see if we can start to go up and test high of day. This is a low float, low market cap. Rotating the float a couple times. A few times, actually. So set a few alerts, keep it on watch. AFI this is the main play that I'm really annoyed about missing. Took off in the morning, and we kind of just took it off. I wouldn't say take it off. We didn't take it off watch, but just taking that little break midday. Took the dog for a walk, and now came back to see it. Really held that open price, made higher lows, had a nice VWAP reclaim and hold, and this would be the entry here. Even high of day was not bad, 45 to 52. I think I like the VWAP reclaim better. Maybe you can add in here in the low 40s when it's proving to hold up, make higher lows, holding VWAP, holding high of day. Not to a T, but that general area, that range. So held up really nicely in the low 40s. We got a nice spike up to the low 50s. So pretty upset I missed that. And who knows, maybe it'll hold up, we can get more volume later and maybe even, throughout this week. And we could see a breakout over at 75, 73. Yeah, 73.89. So far, nice bounce. I wouldn't want to chase it. If I did buy this, it would be, a dip back down towards VWAP, that 44 level, proving to put in kind of like a double bottom here, proving to hold that high of day, let it consolidate for another hour or two, and then power hour, maybe see a continuation from VWAP, that high of day hold, back up towards, up towards 60 cents. And then if volume keeps coming in, throughout the week, we can definitely see 73 and try to fill that gap. So that's just kind of how I would play it, how I would approach it. Right now, I just need to be patient. It's up about 60% on the day. Had that nice morning spike, that nice reclaim and breakthrough high of day. So now I'll just give it some time. And let it suck in shorts. Let's see how 44 and that VWAP holds. Viru just still not giving me a bounce. Nice first red day into resistance. I don't, what if I'm just starting to track shorts, and first red day is, obviously one of my top patterns. I'm not comfortable yet trying to take some up here. I like to see that. I like to see the fade, the confirmation that it is going red and it wants to stay red. And I'm just looking for some kind of bounce back up towards 15, up towards that VWAP level, and see how VWAP holds as resistance. And as long as we get that VWAP rejection, that's the entry I'll be taking. So I'll be looking for something like a pop back up to 15, proving that 15, that VWAP level wants to prove as resistance. I'll be taking some entries in there, waiting for a fade back down to low of day. Hello, welcome to the stream. Not a whole lot going on. DPSI definitely on watch. For me personally, I think just the higher the better. I'll be waiting for, a multi-day bounce. Does have some resistance around 12 and 14. HRB. Let this put in a first red day. Right now we're just good volume that's coming in. Five green days in a row. Looks like we are trying to go red here. So I like the topping action here yesterday around 35. Fade into the close. We need to get a little gap down. Nice kind of topping action around 34. Bless you. So I'd probably let this, depending on, you have to have a strategy, long or short, that you're comfortable playing. For this, open price at 33.65, green 34. So right now it's testing that open price play, open price level. Low of day here, 33.23. I would say right now it's still holding up. Not a whole lot of volume, but just see how this reacts to VWAP. If it starts, testing VWAP and rejecting, maybe take some starters, just risking high of day. Yeah, super big float. I personally don't trade higher priced stocks. I like more the low priced. So I haven't tracked anything like this that's higher priced. So I can't really give you a solid answer. But how I would play it is just stick to kind of that general, first red day, it's going red on the day. So use that, open price as a key level, VWAP as a key level, as long as open price and VWAP are rejecting, and it confirms that it wants to, finally have a backside. So you can see each day it holds VWAP really nicely. So if we can start holding up, on the downside and it's proving as a resistance, that's clearly a momentum shift for sure. So I'd probably be in, you know, mid 33s, risking a high of day of 34, looking for a, you know, break past low of day of the low 33s. Probably looking for one of those fades back down into the 20s. Like I said, I don't trade higher price stocks. I like the lower price, so that's what I'm more comfortable with. And I still don't short yet. I'm just started tracking them, a few short patterns. Yeah, of course. I hope that made sense. Just kind of keeping, you know, a couple key levels on, you know, on watch, you know, like VWAP and open price, high of day, and just waiting for that full momentum shift. Because you could just see it every day. It holds VWAP really nicely. We uptrend. It is very slow grinding action, but slowly just grinding, higher lows, VWAP holding. You know, today we're finally getting a gap down. Now we want to see that open price get rejected, VWAP get rejected, it start holding underneath VWAP, and just kind of see that momentum shift. OTRA holding up. So I had a quick little fake out through high of day, retreated, but we're holding VWAP, still making higher lows. After hours highs yesterday at 1365. Okay, so right now it looks like we're getting a nice little perk through that trend line, DPSI. And this is a pattern I'm still tracking too. These flag patterns, you know, these bull flags. Seeing how they work. Ideally, you know, maybe I would take a starter here, wait for it to dip, confirm, and then you get your ad, and then you ideally want to see that push back up towards, you know, 13, that high of day. Still a couple hours till power hour, so I really just want to be patient. I don't want to really force anything here midday. Liking DPSI. So I'm going to want to keep this on watch. I wouldn't mind taking a starter here. So I like how it's confirming we're holding above VWAP, and if we start cracking back down towards 1044, 1040, I'll just cut it. So I don't mind taking a starter. If I'm wrong, oh well. Rather take a small loss on something than to not really even give it a chance at all. As long as whatever starter you're taking, it needs to fit, it needs to fit your personality. You don't want to be trying to match, my starter or Fatty's starter or anyone else's starter, because sometimes their starter is way bigger. Like Fatty's starter is a lot bigger than mine. As you can see, I'm only taking 50 shares. I'm taking like $600, $550 position. So obviously not very big of a starter. So far, volume's coming in. We're getting a nice little perk up into the mid 11s. And obviously 1113 is kind of a chase compared to being in the 1070s. So got to keep that in mind as well. Definitely did chase a little bit. And we'll see how this dip holds, see how VWAP holds. AF5, we're getting that pullback down to VWAP. So start keeping this on watch and see how this VWAP level holds. So far 11 holding pretty nicely. I'm a big fan of the spread though. I like more volume to come in, that spread to tighten up a little bit. do like that we got a higher low, 11 hold pretty well. And the volume on that, on those couple minutes on the dip were not that big compared to the buying volume that was there. So we'll just see if we can keep making some higher lows. So it's got resistance at 12, 1180s. It's gonna have a lot of trouble up there. So I really want to see some more volume start coming in. Or else I'll think this is just gonna get rejected up there towards 12. I'm really looking for, it's to try to really confirm the 1180s, that breakout level, to test 14. That's what I'm aiming for. If we can keep holding the 11s, should trigger a push up to towards 12, that breakout level. And if we can confirm 12, I think we'll for sure see a high of day of 13. And if we can break through 13, we will see 14. Right now it's still super early. Super early. I'm totally fine with taking it, being early on this. Even if I have to take a loss, it'll be a small loss. I can always re-enter if it does confirm later. Right now, volume does look like it's fading a bit. It's still trying to hold 11. EFI right back down to 44. But I'm not just going to start buying it because it's close to VWAP. I want to see it really prove itself. So far, DPSI trying to hold 11 still. So it looks like we're going to be getting that dip back down towards VWAP. So as long, like I said, as long as VWAP holds, I'm comfortable. But if VWAP starts to crack, probably just going to cut it. But we can make another higher low here. This will be looking good. Not a whole lot. OTRA is still holding up pretty nicely. But it does have overhead resistance. You know, that's on the downside. It has overhead resistance. But on the upside, it's trading great volume. It's a low float. 160 million market cap, not bad. And it's trading great volume. It's about a 12 million float. It's holding past previous high of day, 1142. It's just choppy, volume's fading. I think this just needs more time. So far, I'm seeing a double top there in 1260s. You have overhead in the 1360s, that after hours high from yesterday, and then you got overhead in the 15s. It is trading really good volume today, so I'm really just looking for a failure to break down. But it needs the time. It needs the time to suck in shorts. You know, to attract people, for volume to really start coming in, or to really break through key levels. So it's just going to need time. We're in midday, so I'm not trying to force anything midday. I already have, you know, a small position in DPSI. This trend reversal here. So speculative play, small size. Ideally, I'm looking for, you know, 1180, 12 to hold, which is going to be that breakout level. And if we can hold that level, I think we can see 14. So far, we're getting a nice little spike. Let's see if we can get above the 1150s and start testing that breakout level. did trade a lot of volume up here, so need to see some good volume coming in if we're going to start going up and testing the, you know, the 12s, 13. Right now it's still speculative, but I do like that it's holding VWAP, it's holding 11. Does have that breakout level right there. Is AGRI dumping? Yeah. Lower highs, volume's fading. Every time it tried to bounce, it just gets rejected. It had that little perk pre-market through the breakout level. Fatty was fortunate enough to take that move. Now I was watching it really closely here, market open. Thankfully, you know, I've learned from my old ways of buying the break and getting trapped into this, what's this called, a bull trap here. When it looks like it's going to break through high day, it looks like volume starting to really come in, but then it just sucks right back down. And that was the start of it. Oops. Then it did nothing but fade. And then just all these pops, you know, just get it shorted into, and this looks like it's done. At least for now. It's a solid first red day into resistance. How's Viru looking too? Yeah, Viru is kind of like the same thing. Breakout, gapped up a little bit, came up and, you know, tried to test, but we, you know, hard time in the morning, started to crack under. I was waiting for more of a bounce back up towards that VWAP level to start getting some mental shorts in, because I don't short yet. I'm tracking them, so I kind of just take some mental positions to get a good idea of how they work and to make sure my strategy kind of just works out. Start getting used to shorting instead of just going long. Never really got the bounce back up to 15, that VWAP level, to take any mental entries, so I kind of just watching it all day. DPSI is just slow, grindy action. It just needs the volume. Right now it's still 50-50. It is holding up, holding VWAP, but at the same time it is still holding under that breakout level and that high day level. So it needs the volume to really start perking through those levels and start squeezing shorts. Ooh, is it? Is it dropping under 400? Yeah, look at that. No surprise there. You have the nice bounce. You see each bounce is just a lower high, just gets, you know, sold into. So maybe, you know, if you're buying and shorting this, maybe take advantage of this channel that it's in right now, buying the dips, shorting the, and selling into the pops into resistance, or vice versa if you're shorting. So far each time it's perked, it gets shorted. You see here, it perks up into resistance, it sells off. You have this little bounce back up above 400, almost up to 410. Now we're fading off under 400 again. DPSI is still trying to hold. Yeah, I was honestly thinking the same thing. 350. I think the 350 level was where I was looking at it. $350s, $360s, $340s. You know, low mid threes. I think is a solid spot. That's kind of where it topped out before we had that big crash during the pandemic, and then we got that nice, just that grind back. I mean, and that's just kind of the pattern with the overall market. It's what it's done. Its whole its whole timeline. So I think any dip back down towards mid threes should be solid. That's kind of what I'm aiming for. You see when it started to come back, it got a little choppy here, and around 350 in the 330s, 320s, before we really started to grind higher. And so I think this should be a solid support level around the 340s, 350 level, or 360. We kind of just gotta gauge it, once it starts getting down to the mid threes, and 360s to the 340s in that general area. If you can start taking some positions in there, should be solid. Right now, we're clearly in this downtrend. Some more now. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, each bounce is just a good short opportunity. Just shorten to the bounce. Yeah, ideally it goes and starts cracking the new lows. I'll set an alert. Set one up here to see if we can get a bounce. Oh, what did I just do? DPSI still trying to hold 11. This one's just going to take some time. It still just needs to consolidate and prove that it wants to hold up. I think until volume starts to really come in and it's going to pick a direction. Because it did break through that breakout, and we went and tested 13, but we sucked right back underneath. I needed to prove that breakout level. Until then, I think shorts are in control, but we are trading amazing volume today compared to what it's done in the past. Hell yeah, let's go. Let's go. Let's check out the OSC, shall we? So what was your, if you don't mind me asking, what was your short strategy here for ESOE? So you see we had that nice, parabolic move yesterday from the low ones all the way up to the low twos. And we are gapping down today, and I see that this morning, kind of that reverse head and shoulders, or I guess, yeah, that head and shoulders, we made that high, topping out here in the morning, and then we're just kind of fading. I see it. $191. Yeah, it held red on the day really nicely. High at 183. You're at 179. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, I see it. You just have that topping action. It's holding red. Pretty clear risk. And yeah, once you get that crack under VWAP and fade, I mean, it really starts to confirm it for you. And really nice fade down into the 140. That's freaking awesome. Hell yeah. Okay, nice. Very nice. AGRI I thought could have a little bit more momentum behind it on the long side, so I wasn't quite short biased on it yet. I thought we could see mid threes, maybe even four, if the volume really kept coming in. But it looks like a beautiful first red day into resistance. That's kind of how I was looking at VRU. It was almost like that same kind of setup. You get that multi-day breakout, push into that resistance level, but it looks like the volume isn't quite there to really sustain it and keep it just grinding higher and breaking through key levels. It really kind of just got stuffed and creating that first red day. I was really just looking for how I'm tracking my short patterns is that first red day, seeing how it reacts in the morning, and kind of just looking for that bounce back up towards a key level, like maybe open price, VWAP. VWAP ideally is what I'm kind of looking for, is that VWAP rejection. Once it proves that it wants to, have a momentum shift, we're going to the backside. It's topped out there at a resistance level, and just kind of, I'm not trying to pick the top here and really kind of nail that whole move. I'm really just looking for the bounces back up into resistance, like VWAP, making sure that it's getting stuff there, taking some positions into resistance, and then just taking my quick snipes into the fade. So I haven't shorted yet. I don't short. I only go long, but I am tracking some short patterns, and I do take some mental shorts just to kind of get an idea. Nice. That's perfect. Great way to read it too. Yeah, and you get your nice move from the 280s down to the 260s. Ideally, we finally crack that low of day and get that fade down into the mid to low twos. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Good job. Looks like DPSI is still holding up. Held 11 once again, which is good to see. I'm looking for that breakthrough 1150. Start testing the high 11s, which is that breakout level, and we can confirm the high 11s. I think we can see high of day and possibly 14. but it still needs the volume. The volume still needs to come in. It's not quite there yet. Right now, it's just consolidating. It needs to prove itself. OTRA looks like it's cracking, so that kind of sucks. This is just slow. Midday is boring. I mean, this whole week has been, this whole month has been rough. Like Fatty, you know, if you guys are familiar with our streams and you know, just the Pack-a-Punch traders in general, it's me and Fatty, and he's the one who's actually like very consistent. You know, he actually is profitable. And is really growing a small account. I'm still having a tough time. I'm inconsistent, and it's not the patterns. I know the patterns really well. I know, you know, I know almost everything Fatty knows. I have a hard time with my entries. For some reason, he can read that momentum a lot quicker and better than I can, and he can take plays and take trades and be there at the right time. And I tend to just mistime everything. So that's just the big thing for me is just, you know, focusing on my timing. And it's been frustrating. This month has been very frustrating. Because as soon as I start to gain some traction and momentum and get consistent, something happens. Like, you know, finding the market's been pulling back and it's been rough the past couple months, and I just haven't been able to really take off like I know I can. And even Fatty says, you know, when me and him bullshit, he even admits that, you know, a lot of his trades this past couple weeks are just luck. A lot of losses in the morning, and then, you know, randomly finding a trade last second, midday, slapping it, making some money back. And then for me, I take a loss in the morning and then kind of sit on my hands the rest of the day. Get cold feet. I'd love to see this get through 1150. Right now it's having kind of a hard time, but we are holding up. We've been holding 11 really well. But the good thing about us is, you know, you get to learn from Fatty, who's actually consistent and makes money and is profitable. And then for me, who's learning from him, learning from my own mistakes, obviously, and growing and still trying to find that consistency. So, you know, it's kind of good to see kind of both sides of it. Because when you're on my side, it's, you know, it's difficult. It's a pain. You get emotional and you get in your own head. Come on, baby, let's hold. Don't break down on me. And Fatty will be back, you know, around 11:30 to we'll finish off the day live streaming Power Hour and everything, and he'll be here. He's always here for that first hour and then that last hour. Yeah, I mean, that's a key thing about trading is you have to adjust to the current market conditions. If you can't and you try to just force stuff that's not working, you will get smoked. And I got smoked at first trading. I was breakouts were working for a while, and I was nailing them, and then all of a sudden, breakouts really started to die off and they stopped working. They just got fake outs and just got stuffed, and shorts would take over. And I had a hard time kind of adjusting the first couple weeks, and I really got smoked. And it was really annoying, gave back most of my gains. Now I catch myself really kind of, I traded Pixie this morning. Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to do, is just be more patient. That's why if I take a loss here, it's no big deal. It's just a starter to a play that I think has good potential. Because it is a breakout play, and I know breakouts haven't been working that great, but I think we can get past this. I love the volume, and I think we can get through the 1180s, and I think we can test 14, and that's where I think, we start to flip to the backside. Unless the volume keeps coming in, and we can really confirm and push through 14. Like Pixie was on watch for a multi-day bounce, one of our favorite patterns. Once it started to break through high of day, I didn't get the entry here, but I did get an average of 44. Smaller positions is huge. That's what I've been doing, is just taking smaller positions. Because honestly, you can't focus on the money. If you focus on the money, you're just going to kill yourself. You need to really focus on the pattern and your strategy and being consistent. And then once you can prove to yourself that you are consistent, you can really start throwing bigger money in there, because and you're confident that, hey, 70-80% of the time I trade this, I am winning. So if you're winning 70-80% of the time, put bigger size on there. Your odds are way better. But like right now, I'm not a newbie. I've been trading for 5 years, but as an inconsistent trader, I can't trade big size. I can't think about the money. You have to focus on the pattern in your strategy and your rules, because if you trade big size and you're inconsistent, you're just gonna dwindle your account down to nothing. And then if you do that, especially as a beginner, you're gonna lose hope. You're gonna lose confidence, and you'll have pretty high odds of just giving up and just giving up. And the key is to stay in the game. As long as you have money in your account and you're able to trade, and you're just consistently showing up every day and putting in the work and just failing to give up, you will be consistent one day. You will find your edge. You will find that thing that works for you. But you have to push through all that those blood and tears and the sweat and tears and just all those emotions and that roller coaster of taking losses and maybe even blowing up a couple of small accounts like I did when I first began. Even having family and friends tell you that trading is just gambling and all this crap. Trust me, I get it. I hear it all the time. That's basically my freaking life. So it's been nothing but all it is now is just grind. Been grinding for the past 5 years, trying to get this going and get that momentum and get that consistency. And I may not be there yet, but I can. If I look back from last year or the past couple of years and how far I've come from then, every day, every year, I'm just slowly getting better and better. So eventually, one day, it's going to click, and we'll be killing it. Especially if I keep learning from Fatty and from Deck and all these other guys like Tim Sykes and all of them. You will find consistency. Just takes time. You have to be patient. This is a marathon, not a sprint. I'm sure you've heard Tim Sykes say that a million times. Come on, DPSI. Let's go, baby. Let's get that volume and just rip through frickin' 12. Let's rip through 13. Really? Hell yeah. Tim Sykes, I just mentioned Tim Sykes because, you know, he was the first person that I learned from and Fatty learned from when we first got into penny stocks. And we kind of got the basics from him, learned from his top students, learned from, me personally, I learned from as many traders as I possibly could. Read a shit ton of books, you know, podcasts, all that good stuff. So I did originally hear it from Tim Sykes. But hell yeah, your dad sounds like a freaking smart man. Smart man. If you guys have any questions or any trades that you guys want to go over or any tickers or anything, throw them out there. Let's talk about it. There's not a whole lot going on. It is midday, so I'm not trying to really force anything. I'm already in DPSI, giving this, you know, a lot more time than I kind of expected. Expecting a little bit more of a push through this trend break and up towards that high of day, but we've really kind of just been grinding sideways, which is fine. It's just consolidating. But we'll see. Set a couple alerts. AFI holding up really nicely. I'm really upset that I missed this. We watched this kind of just rip up in the morning and kind of just took it off watch because it had a really nice rip first thing in the morning. And then, you know, I went off, took the dog for a walk. Fatty's working on, you know, his other job that he's been working on. He's working on coding. So both kind of step away midday for a little bit, but this held up really nicely. It held open price, made higher lows, had that VWAP reclaim. I really like that VWAP reclaim as a starter here. Maybe get some ads into that high of day confirmation and kind of just taking your snipe. But this is holding up pretty nice. It hasn't even touched VWAP yet, holding just above it. So that's really cool to see. So definitely keep AFI on watch. So I think eventually we can hold up and maintain that volume and really increase in volume throughout the rest of this week. I think we can see at least a test back up towards, I think it was 73, up into that resistance level. And then from there, you know, I don't know. That's a big gap it's got to fill. So I'm just thinking it could go up and test that breakout level, but from there, I don't know. I don't really know from there. But a solid bounce play. Solid bounce play. The range kept getting tighter and tighter, really failing to break down to new lows. You saw that little green day here, that kind of that momentum shift, and today got the little gap up, breakthrough previous high of day. It just happened too quick in the morning. Usually we like to wait for 5 minutes of consolidation, let it put in a high, wait 5 minutes of consolidation, and then once it starts to break through that high, you're buying that high of that morning high of day break. But this morning it just third minute, I mean it freaking surged. So we're not gonna play it like that. But I should have kept it on closer watch because this held up very nicely. DPSI is boring. Pixie was annoying. RDBX yesterday had a nice bounce play. But not a whole lot going on. Pretty slow right now midday. I think we really just need to see things prove itself through this midday chop, and the ones that really prove themselves and hold up and fail to break down are going to be the ones that probably are those power hour spikers, and the ones that are just cracking and just breaking down like not AFI, sorry, AGRI and VRU. OTRA, now that looks like it's starting to crack. RIBT holding up pretty well, even considering that AGRI is fading. And you have that breakout over 7 cents, 70 cents. So this could be a play. Maybe keep this on watch. Lower priced, midday, I'm going to stay away from it just to be safe. Oh, here we go, DPSI, finally. Let's go. Where are you at? So good. Volume starting to come in, what we love to see. We are confirming that 1180 breakout level, that $12 kind of breakout level. You also have high of day here around 13. So that's that next key level that I'm going to keep an eye on. I'm looking for a high of day break, and I'm thinking we could test 14. I'm looking for a test of 14. I think, depending on the volume and the price action. I've seen every single thing Tim Grittani's ever put out. Alex Tran, I'm trying to think. I probably have, but the name doesn't sound that familiar. But I have both Tim Grittani DVDs. I've seen every single YouTube video he puts out, every single, if he's ever been on a podcast, I've listened to it. If he's ever been on a YouTube video, I've watched it. But Alex Tran, I'm not quite sure. Really just need this volume to keep coming in. Is he a newer Tim Sykes student? Maybe not newer, but newer, like a newer successful student? Because recently, honestly, I haven't been paying too much attention to like who was the new top frickin' trader or new top student. Just because I've always, in fact, that's going to be us. The next year at this time, that's going to be us, and our expectations just get shot down every time. So I just I don't really pay too much attention to who's the up and coming trader. Just gotta focus on yourself, focus on the process. Before you know it, you'll be having Tim Sykes hit you up, asking to get on his podcast and make a YouTube video with him. So far, not liking this pullback. Looks like 12 got stuffed. Let's see how this dip hold and see if 11 can hold still. This one just failed to break down. Still looking good. But so far, I don't really like this pullback. Making me a little uneasy because we did have a little bit of volume there. Like I said, it's just midday, so you just got to be patient. Sit through the chop. And just like that, all of a sudden, we're getting a nice little bounce. So just got to relax. Did you sell a market order or a limit order? With this kind of spread, it can be difficult. I like to use a market order unless I just want to get out at any cost. If you want to get out at any cost and you don't really care, yeah. So that the market order, they'll just sell you at whatever price. A limit order, you just type in the price you want to get filled at, and it'll only fill you if it hits that price. So like if I want to buy the ask, so I have both here. Um, it's not a limit order, but it's still like buy the ask. If I'm going to buy the ask, it's going to smack 1143. And for some reason, if it jumps way above 1143, I'm not going to get a fill until it drops back down to 1143, and it'll fill me. And same thing with selling the bid. It's only going to sell, at 1131. So I kind of have it at both. If I were to sell market, it's going to sell. There's that gap in between 1120 and 1130. So you can get filled kind of either or. And if the ask jumps up or jumps down, and same with the bid, you can get a weird fill. And so like I said, if you don't care where you get filled at, if you're up enough to where you're like, just get me out, like I don't even care, just use a market order. It'll just automatically give you a fill. But if you want to be very precise and picky with your entry or exit, use a limit order. Excuse me. I know this is still consolidating. It's being choppy and annoying. It is. It's just this market condition. You have to be so picky. You have to be so picky and so precise. So for this play, if you're just joining in, all right, we're getting a little bit of crackdown to VWAP. Not really what I want to see. We'll see how it holds here, but the idea behind this play was it's trading amazing volume. It does have resistance here at 1180s 12. I thought we can get through 1180s 12 to test 14, and it, kind of top out around 14. I thought I'd just take that snipe. But I also took it as, once that VWAP held and we're getting through that trend line, and it consolidated for a while. It's holding up. We tried to perk through 12, but it kind of just got stuffed, and now we're really kind of cracking under VWAP here. So far, we're not getting any bounce to kind of sell into. Very annoying. I might just try to stay patient with this and risk off of, the 970s and see if it can really hold. Because this is going to be pretty choppy. I don't expect it to just start going straight up. We still have a couple hours. It's only, we still have just over a couple hours. Just because we're pulling back and dipping under VWAP a little bit doesn't mean it's broken down and the play is over. Now we start cracking under 1070s. I do think this play is done. And I'm sorry, I mean the 970. Right now we're dipping, but not on a crazy amount of volume. I still just want to see how this holds up. Give it some wiggle room. It is small size. I'll take a loss. Oh well. Because these are the kind of moves that you think, oh, this is breaking down, and this is exactly what I would do. It's like, oh, this is breaking down, I'm going to sell. It's cracking VWAP, I'm going to cut it. So I cut it. And then all of a sudden, it starts to hold up and bounce and do exactly what I want later on in the day. So I'm definitely going to give this a little wiggle room. I will put in a stop, though. Oh, yeah, of course, Steven Dux. I do have his DVD as well. And he's a super smart guy. A little hard to understand here and there when he's talking, but yeah, I watch all his YouTube videos. Oh yeah, I've seen all these videos for sure. Yeah, I'm holding DPSI. Got DPSI. You can see here at 1113. I chased a little bit when we cracked through this trend line. We consolidated. We tried to perk through 12, but it kind of got stuffed. I decided I'm going to risk off of the 970 level. I think if we crack this low that the play is going to be over, but until then, I want to give it a little wiggle room and see how it holds VWAP. Because as of right now, I think we're sucking in shorts, and we could still fail to break down, and we could still rip and get to 14 the way I think we can. But right now, this is not looking great. Cancel that, and we'll do 9.7. We'll just leave it like that. I really don't like this pullback. I really don't like how it topped out at 12 around that breakout level. So we'll see. I do love the volume. I do love the first green day. I do love that how it's trading the most volume that it's seen in the past year, even the past 5 years. Max chart. So the most volume, this is the most volume it's done. And shit, even through 14, you know, this can see, I mean, this can see all-time highs if this fails to break down. I think this has a lot of potential. It's a low float, low market cap. Does this have news? I'm not really seeing any news to back it up, but shit, you get a low float, low market cap stock that has all-time highs right there ahead. I'm even going to add. So far, I'm liking how this is holding VWAP. And I really like the potential with this play. Like, no, I don't like this dip, but it's on low volume. Look at the volume on the dip. And right now we are trying to hold VWAP. And as long as we can hold the 970s, I think we have the potential to see 14, at least. And the only reason why I'm so confident is because it's traded no volume in its previous history. Yes, it has the spike ability too. You can see it in the past. It's got these big wicks, these big candles. This one finished red, and that's the only one that's concerning me. Is it really needs to get above the 1180s 12, and it needs to confirm those levels. Because if it can't do that, then I just don't think it's, at least I don't think it's going to make the move, at least not today. Maybe, this fails to break down. Oops. What did I just do? I think if it fails to break down throughout this week, we can eventually see that move to new highs. Right now, it might be just a little too early. Right now, maybe shorts are going to take control. They're going to get a little cocky here and shorting it and take advantage of it down here in the 1180s, 12. And then maybe tomorrow, buy, say, nope, sorry. Maybe we break through and confirm. And then all of a sudden we're squeezing to 14. Then from 14 we're squeezing to 16. Then from 16, we have no more levels after 16. So you got 12, 13 here. 1180s 12 is this day here. It's put in a high of 13. So we got those key levels. The next one I see is 14. And then the next one is 16. That's the all-time high, and there's no volume. There's just no volume in here compared to today. Today we're trading amazing volume. And you have to remember, this is a low float, low market cap. It does not have news, unfortunately, but I do love the potential. And we're still just midday. We're about to get into 11 o'clock here, Pacific Standard Time. How is AFI? Held really nicely. Now we're getting higher lows off VWAP. So that's really cool to see. AGRI still downtrending. OTRA still, not looking great. We need to get back above VWAP. That volume is just faded. Pixie's dumb. RIBT looks like it's putting in a lower high. We're about to go test VWAP. And then VRU is still just fading. So not a whole lot going on. And if you guys have anything else on watch, type it in. We can go over it. You guys have any questions, anything at all? If you guys just want to talk about some random shit, let's fucking bring it up. Let's talk about it. Because right now it's just a waiting game. It's just a waiting game. In midday, usually, you just want to, midday you want to walk away. Maybe study a little bit, go hang out with friends and family. Go take, like for me, I take the dog on a walk. Asked what by Viru, how did you trade that? Let's kind of go over that if you don't mind. A good lesson. Were you going long, I assume? And if you don't want to talk about it, if you don't feel comfortable, we don't have to talk about it. No worries whatsoever. I don't want you to feel like I'm pressuring you into talking about a loss that you don't want to talk about. But on the other hand, going over losses is very important. You learn from your losses. You don't learn that much from your winners, but trust me, you learn from that pain that you get from the losses that you take. the only way I can see you kind of trading this was in the morning here, and then getting smoked on the on this backside. Because I don't see any long opportunity here. Yep, a little bit of a FOMO trade. Yesterday, I took a break. I didn't trade Power Hour, and Fatty nailed this. He took this. I forget exactly where he bought. I think it was somewhere into the close, into the low mid 15s, and he sold it up here, right near 17, like 9 cents off the high. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of plays right now. It's midday, not a whole lot going on. But Vibro got that nice push up into resistance, and then that's what it was today. It was just, you needed to realize that it had that resistance level. Hi, baby. How you doing? It had that resistance level, and this morning when it was gapping down and topping out and failing to to hold red green and open price, it was kind of that clear momentum shift. Jax, what are you doing? Dude, DPSI is still having a hard time. It's looking like it wants to just crack under VWAP. And I'm actually just, I really kind of just want to cut this. Because I honestly I'm not trusting this. The volume is, if you can see, the volume is really fading and really dying down after we've tried to perk. And I'm just not trusting it. Not trusting it. And it is holding up, but I would rather cut it for a small loss, and then I can always add my shares back later if it's proving itself. Right now, it looks like it's going to crack under 10. Damn. Yeah, well, hey, don't get discouraged. It's a good learning lesson for sure. You need to learn as much as you can from that loss, and take it to heart, and just carry that with you into the next trade. Because we've all been there, at least the majority of us. I haven't taken that big of a loss, but I've definitely taken some big losses for me. $600, $700, $800, $900. It freaking hurts, man. It hurts. It is not an easy thing to go through. But you have to learn from your mistakes. I had a friend trading it here in the morning, and then ended up getting stopped out. Come on. And then, it kind of just grinded all day, and it kept topping out around that breakout level of 15.15. %, you'll bounce back, no problem. You can see here 15.15, kind of where it's been topping out. And then yesterday we really kind of broke through. We were looking for that 15.15 break to test low 17s of that breakout level. So that's why Fatty was able to nail it into the close yesterday. And I sat on my hands. But then this morning we got the fade, the gap down, struggling in the morning, high volume and selling, using those key levels as resistance. And we've done nothing but fade from there. Whoa, what'd I do? Scary, huh? It was a little scary. I didn't see that coming. I don't know what the hell I just did. But now we look for a multi-day bounce. Just putting in the first red day, let's let it fade for a little bit and see how it reacts, and we'll wait for that momentum shift. Yeah, no, that's why I cut it. The volume fading. I was hoping we got that pullback. We suck in shorts. I mean, it could still hold. Don't get me wrong, but remove that. It looks weak to me. It just looks weak, and I don't want to be long that. If it sucks in shorts here and really fails to break down and holds 10, and we come back, in an hour, hour and a half, and we're really testing 12 and those highs, a whole different story. But for right now, it doesn't look great. I need to see more volume. There's a lot of volume that traded here in the morning when it put in these highs, and it really needs to confirm that. Is there a ticker? I'm going to take a break here for a few minutes. I'm going to take the dog out, get some food in my system before power hour. I'll leave everything running. I'll just pause the sound. And if you guys want a certain ticker up there, just let me know. I'll give you guys a minute here, throw in some tickers. If you guys want a certain ticker up there, just let me know. I'll put it up there for you. But I'll be back in like 10 minutes. Dog's actually being good. I took him for a walk this morning. Well, I'm going to take him out to the bathroom. I need to get some food in my stomach. Yeah. Little dog walker, a little dog walker. All right, I'll be back. Went back. How's everybody doing? DPSI looking like it's holding up, but it's going to crack. Looking like it's going to crack. Let's see. AFI holding up really nicely. Let's see a failure to break down, and we can start squeezing up towards, you know, maybe that breakout level. Just seeing backsides. Nice. Yeah, of course. So let me get some rid of some of these. Had this really nice first green day on volume. That's what put it on watch. And then, you know, yesterday it just failed to break down. And then today you got the gap up. We're looking for that 280. So 280 is a key level. Actually, one more thing. We have resistance around 350. 330 from this little wick on this candle here. I'm seeing 330 and around 350 are those next key resistance levels. So we were thinking yesterday, it was hanging around right there underneath the breakout level, 280. It's all bigger picture. And before I can dive into pre-market and how Fatty traded it and how kind of he saw it, you gotta look at the bigger picture first. So 280 was that high from the original first green day. Yesterday, failure to break down, and you know you get the kind of that gap up yesterday that gives you that sign like, hey, it's trying. It wants to push higher. You know, it's not breaking down. And then so pre-market this morning, he saw, you know, it had that gap, and it really failed to break down, and volume really started to come in and start pushing up. And it was holding 280, and so Fatty got in here as it was holding the 280s. He got an average of 289, and then, you know, it was just kind of like riding the momentum. You kept getting higher lows, failing to break down, holding VWAP. And then finally, you know, volume really started to come in, and you got that squeeze up into the 330s. And that was that key resistance level that he was looking at. So that's why he decided to just sell, because solid win pre-market to start the day. 289 to 3. I forget where he sold. I think he sold in, I think it was at 330. He'll be here soon, so we'll double check with him on his exact sell price. But I know it was up here, either the 320s, 330. Right there in the resistance where he was looking at. And so he just took his snipe, and that was it. But the reason why he took it was because it was gapping up. It was proving to hold, you know, that key level of 280 here pre-market. And he just took it. He was just riding the momentum. I, on the other hand, was waiting till market open. I was thinking about taking a position in here as it was really holding up, and I was just decided to be patient. I wanted to really let it prove itself, maybe get in, you know, around 310 when it really wanted to confirm. to test and break 330s to test 350. I thought we'll probably see 350, and it just didn't do it. We got the little fake out here, and then it cracked, and then VWAP rejection, and then from there it's just nothing but downtrend. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see how it holds up, but this is most likely done. But that's just what he was seeing pre-market. He saw it reclaim that 280 level. Yeah, of course. And if I'm not explaining something that really makes sense to you, just let me know, and I'll try to explain it in a better way. The whole point, is just so you understand the kind of the pattern and what he was looking at and why he wanted to buy this. It just has a lot of overhead resistance, so it really kind of had a hard time really pushing. And who knows, it might need another day of consolidation until it starts to push and really break above 3 and confirm 3 to see the 350 level. And if that $3 level was the top, I'll be looking for a multi-day bounce. Let me see what the percentage was. But I'll be looking at 133 to what was the high? 313. So only 135% run. It's not as much as I would like. But I think I'll still keep it on watch for a multi-day bounce.
Live?
Yes, Daddy. The man is here.
Hi, Jesse. Hi, Jax.
I'll be right there. Anything up right now?
No, there isn't shit going on.
Anything?
Yeah, finally DPS getting that crack. OTRA trying to test VWAP, but no volume, so I don't really see anything here.
Hello, people.
Patty, I don't know if you want to take over for a second.
Okay.
Go over your trade from this morning, and I just explained it, actually, but if you want to go over your thought process on it,
Sounds
since
cool.
you did take the trade, it'd be nice. And then, if anything, I don't know if you want to look at stuff and see if you see anything.
All right.
But I think
Okay, let's do this.
there's only like one or two that have.
So, AGRI, pre-market. I was just playing the breakout. That was really it. We got a third day surge. This is holding up. Second day, failing to really break down, holding really tight next to the previous high day and red to green level. So when that was holding up, and then pre-market, I saw it pop off, and it was holding, just consolidating around this 280 area. Got it in the low 280s, added more when it was in the 290s, and from there just stay patient, because I knew from the after hours high the other day there was resistance at 305, so I knew it was gonna have a hard time with that. And right there, so until it really broke that area, I knew it was gonna have a hard time, but I didn't expect it to be that quick. I had my order sitting at 330, and then it just took off out of nowhere. Got my alert. I was like, oh yeah, 289 to 330 was the play, and can't complain about that. Right around what? Right around 6 Pacific time. on the day off strong. But that's all it really was. It was just a breakout play lining up. It was just pre-market. That's all it is. That was different about that play. What else is moving? What's this? I remember looking at this not pre-market early on. Could try to continue. Has resistance right around 14, low 14s. We'll see if this has what it takes. It's a low float, low volume, or low float, low market cap, kinda low market cap, not really. Volume is not bad. Would like to see some more out of this, but hey, this could possibly be a play over a high day. VWAP reclaim if we see some volume, and to get the move on to the low 14s. That's all I can see here. Late day. I know Jared probably went over with you guys. Pixie, that one I talked about early. If it keeps holding 40, keeps uptrending, we could get the quick pop off to the mid 40s, maybe high 40s. But just looking for that quick snipe, ended up getting that. That was really nice. I didn't play it, but nice to call that. And the same thing with AFI. He also went over that. You got the nice continuation over the 45, 44 high. You get the failure to break down, uptrend, volume starts coming back, and you get to push higher. And usually this would be the quick move. 25, 30% is usually what we look for. But here we are, it failed to break down. And you gotta respect the price action and the volume. Sometimes they take off for more than usual. But what are you gonna do about that? What else is there? One second. Oh, DPSI. That's what I'm saying. This thing went over early, said don't be buying into the spike here. It's gonna pull back, wait for some consolidation for a base around 12 for a possible play. I know Jared played it, took a loss on it, but I didn't look at this at all. I just completely ignored it. I was just waiting for the multi-day bounce. Once we get that after a red day, that'll be nice. Have shorts take over. Look for the same with how AFI and Pixie, BWV from yesterday. Some good examples, but that is it for now. There really is not much going on, at least that I see. Let me grab my laptop, check out my scanners. If there are any questions, throw them out. Any tickers that I'm missing, throw them out in chat. I'll go over it. Keeps holding up. That's impressive. Solid push. 65% up on the day. Not expect that much of a move. That was nice. Fortunate to miss it. So right now, until I see anything better, I'm just gonna be waiting for a setup here on OTRA. I've taken that off my watch. I hella forgot about that. Viru, I don't know. Not much volume coming into it. Topped out after hours yesterday around 17. It is trying to base and start bouncing back. I just don't really see any volume behind it. I would have to wait to see if it comes back to these areas. If it makes a move back to the highs around 16, then I'll really keep an eye on it. But looking at it now, I can't make a call on it. It's just downtrending, something I wouldn't really trade. But if it does come back to these key areas, fails to break down, then you could possibly get the short squeeze that we always look for. You know, heading over to 7.2, 7.5 year highs into that resistance. But right now, as you can see, volume's just fading, and without that, I don't think you could do much. So I'm just gonna be sitting patient for that one. Looks like bouncing off this downtrend. Overhead in the 70s, 60s. I would wait some more. I don't like the volume. You see how much the float is exactly. It doesn't even tell me on mine. See, when volume's gone, it's not really going to do much. That's why with Viru, I'm not really looking at it for a move right now. Same thing with DPSI. You get the topping action. Now you get lower highs, starts downtrending, volume fades. Most likely it's going to start cracking the high 9s and pulling back hard. But we'll see what that does. But right now, top play that I could possibly see, but it's still waiting game, is OTRA. Yeah, everything else on my scanner is too cheap for me. Not my liking. Because I remember that was essentially, what I do. Okay, this thing ended up holding up. Nice to see that move. Quick snipe opportunity on the open price play. That was one of the top watches heading into the day, holding 65-ish, maybe 70 to test 80 cents. Didn't quite get that push, but we knew that in the 70s there was going to be some resistance. So of course it tops out here when volume gets exhausted and it just has some indecision. Volume fades, but we are still holding up. So I kind of like RIVT. If this could hold up, continue to uptrend, get back around above 70, that could be a potential play as well. Yeah, I like that. What time is it? Yeah, we still have an hour. Definitely a waiting game. I need to see more out of this. Volume's dead right now.
Slow day. You see AFI?
Yeah, that was insane. Oh, that's pushing higher. Come back to it. Yeah, that's what happens when trend keeps holding up. You have the huge pullback here. I'm assuming shorts started covering into each other and brought it back, and I really started taking it off. But here we go. Once you get the failure to really break down, volume keeps coming in. It has the possibility of holding up and pushing further than you'd expect. So you could probably apply that thinking here with DPSI, where yeah, it's already up a lot. It could possibly head higher, but the volume isn't necessarily there. You get a 1 minute fake out that means is a minuscule amount of volume compared to what it's doing in the morning. So essentially dead overall, just downtrend. Now we're fading some more. So
You want to know how I took this? How
I didn't ask, Jared. Please let me know.
Yeah, I know you didn't.
Can I guess?
Go ahead.
Okay. I want to say in this push right here, right around 11:40, 11:50, you got excited for a second, then just shits on you.
Kind of close, but wrong.
No, okay, what's up?
So how I had this, well, how I was looking at it. So I took it. I sat on my hands through this trend reversal, and once we really started to hold, I took some here at 11:13,
Okay.
and then it held 11 really well. And then once it cracked, I got emotional. I did add right here. Okay.
Okay.
And then I just cut it because I was like, "This is dumb. I'm
Thank
dumb."
you.
And so I cut it. So yeah, that was.
Wow, Jared. Okay. Solid mistakes. As you know what you're doing wrong. But yeah, this is a no play right here. No volume.
Yes, she said she wants some. But I was gonna order them from Oliver's. So what do you want on yours? And on what type of bread? That's
Yeah, and then here's the same thing here, no volume. That's why it's a waiting game. What's up?
sandwich order. Send it to me.
Okay. Adios, I'll text you in a moment. Or Jared, can you text me my order? I'll tell you what it is. Alright, what's the overall market doing? Oh, that's dipping. Okay. So yeah, slower day, not a whole ton. ADRI pre-market. There were the multi-day bounces. I will say that. AFI was a good setup. I should have been paying more attention not to that. Maybe I had an alert for a high day break, but you know, you miss plays here and there. I was also satisfied with my gain from early on in the day, so you gotta account for that in your trading system. Like for me, I prefer to be comfortable in my trading. If I'm not liking something or if I'm satisfied, it's good. I don't need to try to maximize it every single day. I'll take the slower growth up. I don't need to just have exponential growth. That will come with size and comfort and familiarity with these plays. But really early on, I'm just trying to take it day by day, make a few hundred. That works out. No need to push it even more. I'm grateful for it, and we'll let it build every single day. So coming in today, I wasn't really looking to trade anything anyways. AFI, just unbelievable. It's still holding up. We'll see how it acts here, because we are getting some choppiness, and it is having a hard time breaking around 51. And volume is not what it was earlier. So I could see this thing possibly selling off here soon and topping out in the 50s. Because it just doesn't have as much fuel in its tank to really push higher. Its volume got exhausted earlier when it went vertical. I don't know how many more shorts are really trapped in here that can push this thing lower. And let's take a look at the broader trend. Not bad overall still, actually. A little bit of buying coming in, but this volume exhaustion here and choppiness really makes me consider that this is the top. As well as you got this, what is this one? Doji, whatever it's called. After a decent little perk, showing that this is a key level here, right around 51. So if volume fails to come through here, I think this will see its end. But if not, it'll just continue on there. Sideways, nothing. No volume, can't do anything. How many steps inside? I'll just touch myself. Take over real quick.
How's fear looking? So far, a quadruple top there, 51. Plus, you got that Hive Day 52.4.
Yeah, momentum doesn't look like it's really on his side right now. I wouldn't be thinking that this is heading much higher. Yeah, I don't really have anything. So usually in times like these, it's okay to just take some time off, learn something, go read a trading book. It's probably been a while in shot. It's been way too long. I have the links in there. But, you know, if you go to our website, Pack Punch Traders, there's books there. I do need to add a couple of them that I haven't added that I've recently read. But most of them that I like that are right there, go for it. The Japanese candlestick charting techniques, that one's really good. I think that's a must read for all traders, honestly. At least when I read it, I got a better understanding of what I had about momentum and
I
how to
really
read it.
enjoyed that book too.
Yeah, that was a really good book. Because just understanding the candlesticks and like how to really analyze it really helps out to understand the volume, not the volume, the momentum behind the move. Oh yeah, check out the website. We got some gear. We got the hats and whatnot. Bring it up again, Jared, if you want. So we'll go through it right here. Just bring it up and we'll click through each thing. So in the free material, we got a bunch of things. The video lessons on there aren't totally updated because I just started switching and just posting them on YouTube and not on the website. So for video lessons, just stick to YouTube. But some chart screenshots, this isn't updated, but we have some past runners, some of the patterns, what we look for, some things that you could just study off of, see some of the patterns work out throughout history. Some blog posts. Just had one recently over the weekend, maneuvering through this difficult market. And then we got books here as well.
And then just some traders to follow.
And some traders to follow. I haven't updated that either. There's a few more to add to that. And then we got the shop.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah. I need to get some more of that stuff. I want the grind don't line shirt.
And it's
And
kind
then,
of,
oh yeah, I forgot I did that.
yeah.
Totally forgot I did all that. So here we have like a total breakdown of just trading and what we look for and whatnot, how to trade. So yeah, we got our whole website there. Feel free to check it out. Some material on there. Besides that, our YouTube, Twitter, it's gonna be there. A lot of stuff on that. Constantly putting the watch list every single night and updating it in the morning. Some people seem to like that. So give us a follow at Pack Punch Traders if you've yet to. What's Aggie doing? Is that holding up? He's holding
coming
up.
back.
Nice.
Look at that.
I was waiting for this. This might be a play here. VWAP Proclaim.
Yeah, because
High
it
day
started
break.
making higher lows here. A little double bottom, higher low.
Alright. This might be the only thing that brings me out of not trading today. I've been waiting for this. We got a little bit of a volume perk here. If it could continue and still increase, you want to see these bounces happen with gaining volume behind them.
Yeah, we can get that high of day break. We're at 310.
Because we want to see constant participants on the buying side keep coming in. If they're not there, it's going to have a hard time really pushing higher. And that's why we look for that volume exhaustion as a sign of topping and in the price and volume, because it can't necessarily sustain that price jump and volume increase and constantly keep bringing that in to keep pushing higher. So after a run up, usually towards the end, you're going to see a volume exhaustion and price exhaustion. Just like pretty much going vertical, just abnormal volume and price jump. So that's why for, what do you call it? What was it called? It was AFI. That's why here I'm kind of hesitant to think that this thing has even more behind it, because now we're getting really choppy. We're below where that volume got exhausted. It couldn't really sustain itself, as you can see here. Pushed up, tried to push a few more times, but ultimately selling came through and volume faded, and there just weren't enough participants on the buyer side. And that's where, with this pattern, I'm reading that as shorts got out. They got squeezed out. The fuel behind the play that I want, they're out of it, and I'm kind of done with the move. I was saying that earlier, but then I also did say that if this does, for some reason, come back for a high day break, that could be another push higher. Just totally missed that. That's just frustrating. Maybe get another opportunity to play something today. AGRI. Still needed some more than this. this is really the breakdown of trading. Just follow the volume, the trend, the price action of the play. You know, this thing, I was saying don't be buying it when it was in the 10s because it was still pushing then. You don't want to chase it then. And it still ran up another $2 to $3. So this one went a lot more than I expected. But, you know, volume was there today, as you can see.
How I was thinking about it was we can get through with the volume it's doing. I think we can get through 12 if it can confirm that to test 14.
And that's what I was looking for, but it just didn't happen.
I thought if we get this trend reversal, start making some higher lows off VWAP. It was holding 11 really nicely. I thought we can see at least high of day, and it just got stuffed at 12 and really dumb for adding. I should have just cut it right here right away.
Yeah. So that one was probably not your best trade. Just the volume wasn't there. You got to combine volume and price action. That's why the other day when it was AGRI on Monday. Actually, if you go to that, Jared, I was hesitant to buy that when it was reclaiming VWAP because the volume wasn't there. Even though it was doing what I want and starting to uptrend, I did recognize the higher low double bottom in the chart, and as it was reclaiming VWAP, there really wasn't a whole ton of volume coming in until a few minutes later. And this is a 5-minute chart, so like 5-10 minutes later. Can I see that?
You want to go to 1 minute?
No, you're fine. So as here, when it's holding up, trend's changing, it's reclaiming VWAP, there really still is not much volume going on until here's when it starts getting my attention, because you get the volume increase and a solid bump in the price, and from there it kept holding trend, and by the time I was really noticing the volume, it was already up here in the 260s and whatnot. I didn't want to chase a high day break in this market environment. I saw that as extremely risky, and what I said was, okay, we'll see, because I knew we were like right a few minutes before the close. If this could just hold up, fail to break down around 260, we could get a push to 290s, 3-ish, as that was at the time resistance on the chart from right here around this area. And I thought if we kept holding these areas, we'd get the push to 330 to 350. So that's why my selling today was at 330. I had my order sitting there. But just a view of, you know, volume is really important. And if it's not there, even if it starts uptrending, I'm going to ignore it because the volume isn't there. I've said this before, got it from a book recently. Just view volume as fuel in a gas tank, and if you know you're getting your car and there's not much gas left in the tank, you're not expecting to go that far. So same deal in the market as well. Anybody looking at anything? Anything we're missing? You guys got a loss or a win? Something you guys confused about? You want us to go over? We're here to help out. RSI cracking to 48. Go to 1 minute. I feel like this thing's gonna crack for you all any moment soon.
Yeah, no.
I'll be back in a minute. I'm gonna grab my water as well. Left it in the garage. My throat's dry.
What's up, dude?
Hey, buddy.
And then, just talking to Jared right now. Put up a point when talking to him that I didn't bring up earlier. Here, when you're looking at this here, the reason we usually wait for it too, because as long as it's below this price and there's not much volume, all this volume here, this is acting as resistance. You got bag holders from the morning and short sellers looking at this key level at 12. They're all in this area here, the 1180s, 1160s, 70s. So mid 11s to 12s, they had a bunch of volume there. A bunch of people trapped, and that was a key level. So all that volume was going to be seen as resistance until it breaks it, confirms it, and makes that volume more support.
You just telling me what you just told me.
Yeah, because I didn't mention it.
Actually, we might as well just go over that conversation over again, because what I was saying was, like I was saying earlier, I like the overall volume on today, and compared to its history, there's no volume that's been traded. I thought, if we can get through 1180, that if we can hold that, we can definitely see a high of day test and break to test 14. And then after that, there's all-time high is 16, and there's no volume. And I thought that it has the potential to get that squeeze, since it was basically one of the only things kind of holding up today. And I understood that, you know, all the volume was from this morning, and that it did have that volume up here around 12 and, you know, 13 that was going to be resistance. I just thought that if it would really hold up, make some higher lows, we can eventually see that squeeze up to 13, but instead the volume never really came in.
So yeah, the volume is key because you're just getting at it just late to the party. No volume after a huge run up already, making lower highs. Just trying to turn the corner, but no volume behind it.
And that morning volume from today is really what held it down.
Here we are, AGRI. What are we doing here, dogs? I bet everyone can hear you breathing. Can you not?
Gus was just saying hi.
I'm liking this one the most right now. Came back, held previous close, broke it just by a little bit, but failed to really break it down and go red. So here we are holding. We are still below open price, so we're going to keep an eye on that. What price is that? $2.99, I remember. Just $2.99.
Yeah.
Then we got highs at $3.15 or so. So now we got a little bit more volume coming in. If this could really start uptrending, hold the VWAP, start holding around 3, this 293 region, I'll be buying for it to test day highs, and from there I'll be looking for it to get to 350. It should get past 330, because then now we got all these people here that have been shorting this, and say a bunch of them got in here in the low 3s, it looks like, based off, you know, the volume and trend of this. A lot of them got in the low 3s, we'll say even 290s. So it getting to 260, they're up not that much. What is that? 15% or so, 10-15%, depending where you're getting in. So now that it's holding up and coming back, some of them are going to probably start locking in gains. Some dip buyers are coming in. That if there's enough buying of that going on, that should push it up higher to the day highs, and that should really scare shorts out, as majority of the people would be underwater. We got some people in here from early on, but not nearly as much volume pre-market as we got here early in the day when the market opened. So that's really the thinking here, waiting for each key level to start getting taken out one by one, and for that to really trigger a short squeeze. But we're going to have to, as we said, keep an eye on volume for that, because for now all that volume here is just going to weigh it down. And don't forget also, this 280 level is a breakout level. So even though we had this huge move here and all it did most of the day was fade, the fact that it barely broke down and is still kind of holding the region of the high mid 2s could be the confirmation of that breakout level. So just gonna sit back. This could very well be a VWAP rejection here, so just be patient. AFI losing some more volume and pushing a little bit lower here. Solid triple top going on around 51 with fading volume. Makes me think that will really start getting a move on lower soon, but who knows? Who knows? Same thinking applied here, different action, but seeing the volume fade, downtrend, choppiness around this area, almost here like an inverted head and shoulders. One shoulder, head, right shoulder, and that led to this downtrend here.
Have a good day.
See you, dude. Have a great one.
I'm gonna say goodbye to Jax. Yeah, I'll just hate my dog.
Mm-hmm.
This is around.
Oh, he's so much nicer and calmer. Just the best.
Oh yeah, he's fucking 5 years old. Sorry, my 5-month-old puppy has too much energy for everybody. Oh, buddy. I'm just a baby. You're just a baby. Why are you kind of wet?
So here we are, solid double bottom, right around that red-green area. This kind of shrinks things up, gives a better image, I think. And volume could just continue to come in and it could uptrend. I'm seeing this all as confirming action of the breakout level. Yeah, pushing hard. Give me above or below average. Let's go. Solid sellers here on the level 2 coming in at, we'll call this a resistance level. We got 299 right above, VWAP right here. Could be seen as resistance. So we'll see how we chew up the sellers throughout this area. We keep holding up, the weight's still in here. Solid coming through. 105 is getting eaten up. Definitely a slower day today. But even though, you know, what do you call them, could bring some action to the small cap market, though. What do you call it? DPSI, low float, low market cap, solid push today. And then, no, not OTRA. I guess it was just DPSI. I don't know why I felt like this one ran more. Not bad though, 50%. Actually below that. But yeah.
It's trying.
Some solid buying coming through right there. A lot of green. It's definitely putting the fight. Here we go. Take it up a notch. Push through again.
A lot of
Let's
behind
go.
right there.
In case I need to buy. See if we can get more volume in this 15-minute candle bar. Could be on track to outdoing it. Or at least even if it does just as much, just to see that it is able to sustain that for half an hour. That'll be good. This maintains, I might take a starter. Because then if I'm risking with a starter, I'm only risking just about 13 cents, 14 cents. I'm getting it around this price. Just about 5%. It's a very small size for a starter. And then add into it as it starts working out, holding open price, holding the high day. Right now, we're just gonna be a little more patient, see what we can get here, see what happens. DPSI down to 8.
Damn, yeah, 820. Nice solid fade. AFI still downtrending.
Right now, volume's looking good.
PPSI failed breakdown from yesterday.
Yes, it is. No volume behind it though. gonna need a lot of volume, in my opinion, to really get the move on past 418 to 420.
But so far, failing to break down.
It's failing breakdown. That might bring in some volume, which could give it the push it needs. Nice, AGRI. Some volume coming in to accompany this push higher, looking good. Solid bottoming action here, holding 280s, 260s. I'm thinking this is probably the best place setting up here into power hour. Got half an hour left. Let's see if we can get some more out of this. There's that AFI dipping some more. As we recognize the fading volume and topping action. It's a lot more choppier here. We got the one-sided push. We did get a little bit of choppiness here. But the only difference is when it failed to break down, volume came back here, ended up getting stuffed. And you just get a weaker push after volume gets exhausted. Not a great look. Here we are, cracking. Nice. 3. So we got the increase in volume that we're looking for. Now this thing is pretty close, 5% away from day high. And I think from there that could trigger a move straight to the mid threes, pre-market highs at least. So now I was just gonna see how it tests the 299 open price. Might have to pull back, reclaim or not reclaim, show the hold of VWAP, make a higher low there, and that might really trigger a move past 3. But if it keeps holding up here, uptrending with volume continuing to come in, you know, with what, less than half an hour, this thing could be in the mid threes in no time.
I want to see how it reacts to high of day. That's like the key level for me.
everything else, let me check my scanner again. Everything else is staying here in power hours, given the best price action. Making me think it has better odds of moving. This might be worth some more shares into this here. Try and hold. I don't know if that's enough time. AFI,
Cracking hard.
racking hard. This is gonna be something to track the short side of this pattern after it runs up. So we're playing both sides of the pattern. That will be nice. So yeah, this is the most interesting here. I don't see anything else really worth giving the watch. What's TRKKA? That one's holding up too. There's another one. Let's take a look at that. I remember looking at this earlier, but was just saying I don't really like the price action. Seems like there's either a lack of volume or something going on here. And solid bump in volume compared to its history, but we got overhead resistance. I don't know how much further this could go. I like my odds more with AGRI for a potential play. So yeah, now just be patient. Let's see how it keeps holding trend. Might get stuffed here at 3 at open price, or it holds VWAP, and then that could create another the momentum for it to head higher. As shorts that were probably sizing into this will get squeezed, or if this filters throughout some of the bag holders maybe from the morning that are selling now that it's back, that might weigh it down here. So if we have enough buying, this should hold up and get the move back higher.
Good dog.
For now. He's sleeping.
Yeah, but then we're gonna go to the pool.
And he's gonna have energy and bite me. I already know it. I already know. In my future today, I'm getting bit. That's just part of the plan.
Don't act like it's an aggressive. You're being really bit by the dog. All right.
That shit hurts though. That shit hurts. So far, yeah, 3 is holding. And not only because it's a key level psychologically, whole dollar, half dollar, but we also got $2.99 open price lined up right there. But let's see if it has enough momentum to hold up, continue this uptrend that we got, hold the VWAP, confirm this area. Right now, not showing much signs of holding. I need to see some more volume ideally. Let's see. A lot of selling coming through in this 15-minute bar. Just a waiting game. Solid double bottom. Just looking at it with the 15-minute, so much more clear. That's a lot of volume looking at it here in the morning. It's gonna need some serious volume to really push back. Like, who knows? Maybe it does get a lot of selling, but it completely fails to break down. That's gonna be interesting as well to see. Here we go. See again how it tests 299 area. Because I couldn't even get to 301. 3 was holding tough.
There we go, testing 3.
Some solid buying coming in. Nice. I am liking this right now. If I could just maintain, that was some solid buying come through. It's just for coming in with the last 20 minutes. Can it really offer a solid move? Does it have what it takes? Oh yeah.
543 sitting there.
Let's see how it chops at it. Dipped a little bit for now. Let's see if it builds back to it. 436 this time.
So far we chipped away at it.
Chipped
There we
away.
go.
There we go. There we go. Let's see how much that was holding it down. Push right through. Some solid buying continuing to come in. Right? Can't tell. Because if he was really weighing it down, I feel like it should have ripped a little bit more.
Yeah. I'll fake out 3-3.
See how it reacts to this dip. Right now, 3 is looking like hard resistance. Almost seeing this as the volume exhaustion out of this because it wasn't really able to maintain it, and it wasn't doing nearly as much as the volume that it has been doing. It was just double that pretty much. But the trend is still holding upwards. Gotta respect that for now. Come on, keep failing to break down. Scare out the shorts here end of day. finishing this minute strong. Let's see if we can get the continuation here.
Testing 3 again.
Testing 3 again. So far, just holding up. Not much continuation higher. Could be wrong, but this is looking toppy here. Three is giving it a really hard time. Did I miss it? I didn't see it. Shoot. I guess not. Wasn't paying attention to it. Right now, I'm really just focusing on the trend and volume, and I'm just seeing how many sellers really come through at the resistance level here at around 3. And each time we get up there, some more sellers come in on the ask here. Giving it a hard time right now. But really the main focus is the uptrend and the volume continuation to come in. And right now that's telling me so far we're having a hard time holding up. Not necessarily holding up, but really pushing through 3. Hidden sellers is when you'll see sometimes a bunch of trades go through and the sellers, what do you call it? They haven't budged. That means there's a lot of selling going through already, but on the level 2, it stays the same. That it's coming up to 3, and a lot of sellers are coming in. I'm not seeing that as hidden sellers. I'm seeing that as a lot of people from early on. This is going to be a key level, so any bag holders and short sellers are going to be coming in at this area. But yeah, sometimes you'll see it when there's just a bunch of action going on the time and sales. For hidden buyers and sellers, you'll notice it, that one of the sides might not be moving at all. It's still saying the same amount of size at that price. But you definitely saw a bunch of orders go through at that price on the time and sales. That's when you'll see the hidden sellers. Or get an idea that they are there. This is holding up well.
Back above 3.
Yeah. Having a hard time, but it keeps making new highs. Even these small ones. Forget the general pattern here. New highs, penny by penny. 91, 93, 94, 95, 97. We'll see if it could get to 299, 3, hold that up and push higher, or else it might be coming to a breaking point soon.
Yeah, well, we only
We'll have
have
to figure out.
we only have about 10 minutes
Right.
left, so it doesn't give you a whole lot of time for it to really squeeze.
But maybe something after hours, but it's gonna really have to show me that it's got the volume and it's holding trend. But right now, I'm not really looking to. I don't see anything worth getting in after hours, or to possibly swing. Everything. What is DSPI doing? What's this one doing too? Yeah, solid fade. Gonna retest the VWAP, reject it, and probably fade some more.
UPS highs right there.
Where is it?
And the D's. It's all alphabetical
Jesus
order.
Christ, yes I know. I don't know why I'm not for it. Yep. Just continue with that fade. Nothing great there. Got 10 minutes left. What's this doing? Nothing. No volume. What was the other one I was holding? T. Is that T? No volume. Can't move. Yeah. I don't know if this is gonna give it to us here.
Lower high.
Lower high, that volume. You got another perk in volume here, but couldn't fight and bring back as much buying. I'm thinking momentum towards 3 here is on the short side. Seller side in general.
Overall, market's taking a dump too. Low 390s. Doesn't help.
Each time this thing wants to give up, it comes right back. It's exhausting. But the volume isn't there anymore as the way it was building up here. As you can see,
Now it's
a little bit
fading
of a
off a
drop
little
off.
bit.
Yeah, right around 3 after hours highs from Friday. Coming back and holding. And this is what was giving it a hard time pre-market too when I was in it. It was making me nervous, but I was sticking to it, kept making higher lows. And same thing here. But we gotta respect volume, and right now that's totally dropping off, so probably gonna wrap it up here. Might pop off unexpectedly, but who knows. So definitely keep an eye out later on Twitter. I'm gonna have the watch list out there later today, maybe even later tonight. But yeah, so follow us on Twitter, check us out there. I'll have the watch list out tonight, updated version in the morning. We'll be back here 10 minutes before the market opens tomorrow morning. So come back and check us out there to see what momentum's continuing. Maybe we're trading AGRI again, who knows. As well as I'll have a video of the watch list of top plays. I'll dissect those and the thinking there on YouTube and make a daily review probably. So keep an eye out for YouTube and Twitter later today. Have a great one. Thanks for being here. Hope we're of some use to you guys. Yeah, definitely come back. We'll be here. We're all learning small accounts. We're just growing this account together. So please join. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you guys later. Have a great one.
Later, guys.